Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I have some recommendations for you that I have done before. I think I've done 2 of this video before, Protective Heroes. I'll have them linked down below. One of my favorite things in the entire world. I absolutely love a protective hero specifically. I just love so much when all he wants to do is just protect her, and especially like if they're thrown into situations where maybe she could be in danger. Like, I don't know. I just love it. We all love a very protective, possessive hero. So these heroes fall more on the side of protective. Like, there are specific scenes in these books where they're protective, but they also, of course, sort of blend into being possessive at times. So the first book I want to talk about is Someone to Watch Over Me by Lisa Kleypas. So this is a historical romance, and this is the first book in her Bowrunner series, and I really loved how protective this hero is. So he is Grant. He is a Bow Street runner, and he's called down to the docks to investigate what is supposed to be like a drowning death. He's going to see what's going down. And so when he gets there, he's very surprised to see that not only is the victim still alive, but she is a beautiful, very well-known woman of the night. And he has been harboring feelings for her for many years. So he ends up taking her back to his place to, nurse her back to health and help her to recover. And he is again surprised when she wakes up and she has amnesia and doesn't remember anything about who she is. So there are so many moments in this book where he very specifically has sort of loud, in your face, but very enjoyable to read moments of wanting to protect her and keep her safe, because people are still obviously out to do her harm. And he just wants to keep her safe, and he's just such a manly man in that way, how he goes about keeping her. I just love it so much. I am weak for a hero like this. I don't even care what that says about me. I think it says good things about me. I love a man who's big, strong, and protective for his lady. One of my favorite things in the entire world. So this one was very fun in that regard. He is obsessed with her and just will not allow anyone to harm her. Okay, so the next book is When Heroes Fall by Gianna Darling. This is a very popular book by Gianna Darling, and I really liked this book. But the thing I absolutely loved most that really made this book work for me was how protective the hero is in a specific instance at the end, when they're sort of, the cliffhanger ending happens, because this is a duet. So Dante is the hero, and he's the head of the mafia and is coming under some trouble with the law, and so the heroine is a lawyer who is going to help him get out of that mess. And plot situations happen where her life is in danger, and when he hears about it, this man becomes unhinged and is ready to burn down the world for her. And it's just a beautiful thing. I love it so freaking much. I adored how protective he was of her, but you really don't see that until the end. The rest of the book is them sort of trying to get to know each other. They have really good banter, and yeah, I'm a sucker for a protective hero, and this guy definitely was. Okay, so now this book is interesting because of the setup of this relationship. So our heroine is in Paris with her sister. They're traveling, they're studying, going to school, and they are kidnapped and trafficked into human labor camps in the Alps. So she, the young woman whose point of view that we're in, she is determined to escape from this labor camp. But it's impossible. It's a very dangerous setting. They routinely will execute the prisoners, the girls who aren't performing to the capacity that they need them to, or if they just feel like they're trying to escape or anything. Like, this is a place that has no qualms at all about executing the people who are there if they're trying to escape. But that's not going to deter the heroine. She is determined to get out of there, and she ends up catching the eye of her guard, who is this big, strapping, huge man. And he doesn't, this type of protective relationship was interesting because he isn't going to like go in there with guns blazing ready to break her out, but he tries to make sure that she has resources so that she can help herself get out. And he's very much breaking the rules in this extremely rigid, scary facility. So things that could get him into trouble too. So he does things like save parts of the best food for her. He continuously tells her, you know, you cannot break out. It's impossible to break out of this prison. Meanwhile, he slips her little tools to help her to break out. So it was a very interesting relationship, and I will say that the protective element of this wasn't quite as satisfying as a man who's like, you know, don't touch my wife. But it was still really fascinating, and I really enjoyed watching their relationship develop, largely because it was so unique, and the protective element did play a huge part in that. Okay, so now this next one is a personal favorite of mine, and it is King of Wrath by Ana Huang. I'm a huge fan of Ana Huang, and I think that this is one of her better books, personally. I think she does a protective hero so well. Like a protective, possessive hero who literally gets so territorial when anyone or is around his woman, or he thinks anyone has touched her. Like, it's just a beautiful thing. But this one is interesting because it's a marriage of convenience. The hero is being blackmailed, and he ends up agreeing to be engaged to his rival's daughter. So they're in a year-long engagement, and of course they're not going to fall in love. He's very grumpy, but it worked for me because of the way that he slowly unraveled, and I just found it to be extremely beautiful. And there were just so many scenes in here where he gets so possessive and protective, and he's so worried about things happening to her and if she's in danger, and it just is so good. I love this book so much, and I also feel like, even though I'm squealing and gushing about it, I think that the setup in here is a bit more elevated than the Twisted series because the characters are older. It's a billionaire type of setting, and the plot is just a little bit different and more unique in that way. But, I mean, the relationship in here was fantastic. If you like Ana Huang at all, I think you would really love this, and it was a favorite of mine for sure. Okay, so the next book is Savage Hearts. So this one is book 3 in the Queens and Monsters Mafia Romance series. And this one, again, is just completely set up for a perfect protective hero. The hero's name is Malik, and he is basically a extremely scary assassin, mafia assassin, and he is out to kill Declan, who is a hero from the previous books. This series probably is best read in order, but I also feel like you don't technically have to. So he ends up going to hunt down Declan and kill him when he runs into our heroine, who he believes is in danger because of the close proximity that she is to Declan. Little does he know that she actually is Declan's future sister-in-law. Like, she's sisters with Declan's woman, Sloane, from the previous book. So he ends up kidnapping Riley and to try and get her out of the danger, and it's just, honestly, like, the setup of this was pretty unique. I think that this author does banter really well. I mean, she does a protective hero incredibly well, and this guy was extremely protective, and it was just a ton of fun, and I just really loved their chemistry, and those protective moments were just to die for. I loved them so freaking much. Okay, so now the next book on here, and this one is one of my favorites, and I think that the protective nature of this hero is a little bit more realistic in an everyday type of setting, and it's Don't Kiss the Bride by Carrie Ann Cole. So in this book we have our heroine, who is still in high school. She's 18, and she needs health insurance. She's in a really bad situation. She has some mental health struggles, and she is in dire need of health insurance. She ends up meeting our hero, who is 16 years older than her, through a course of events as he just sort of sees her walking by. There's a really kind of cute and cringy moment where she, like, trips and falls flat on her face in front of him, and so he ends up taking her to the ER. Like, he's just very caring and very protective in the way that he wants to make sure she's taken care of, which is just a huge draw of his character, the way he's just so gallant and noble and wants to make sure that everything is okay with her and do everything in his power. I love that type of hero so much, and he was that to a T. So they end up in a marriage of convenience to get her out of her bad situation, and of course they're not going to fall in love. This again is another arranged marriage where the hero is protective, and I love it. It's interesting because it is different than the reasons for the arranged marriage in King of Wrath, but I feel like the effect is still very much the same because, like, it's still, I mean, totally different in vibes and feel. This is very soft and sweet, whereas King of Wrath is a little bit more on the hot and sexy side, I feel like. I mean, this book is still sexy. Anyways, I really loved watching this hero truly just care for her, and there were so many moments in here where he showed her how he was trying to protect her and take care of her and get her out of her bad situation with her mother, and I just really loved it. So Alright, my friends, this was a very short video, but I still hope that you enjoyed it. These are some of my current favorite protective romance heroes. Please do me a favor, and if you have made it this far, feel free to leave me a red heart. And if you have any other heroes that you want to add to this list, leave them in the comments. I will have my 2 previous videos that I've made about protective heroes linked down below as well, because it's a favorite trope of mine. I've made this video a lot. And I'll see y'all in my next one.